Oh man, we back in here with another one. It's the difference, man. Now, there's been a lot made and a lot being talked about the plans for Shedeur Sanders this upcoming season, whether or not they need to bring in competition, whether that's Malik Willis, people like Anthony Richardson, Ty Simpson. All of these different narratives are being thrown out there as far as what the Browns need to do or how the Browns are thinking about this. We heard from the media, we heard from the coach Todd Monken, we heard from Andrew Berry. During the combine, their little media segments and media moments, but it's still not enough for the Cleveland media, man. We still trying to figure out what's going on. We still trying to throw names out there and see what catches. It's like a fisherman throwing out there, man. You got all kind of different bait, man. You got your worms, you got your wax worms, you got your maggots, you got your little rubber things, man. You got minnows, you got chicken liver, man. You got whatever you're using, but you throwing it in the water just trying to see what you can catch. And they ain't catching nothing, man. To be honest, I don't want any of it. I don't want Ty Simpson. I don't want Richardson. I don't want Willis. I don't want Mac Jones. All of these different names that we talking about. But let's go ahead and kind of see what my guys, man. Courtesy 92.3 The Fan, man. Let's see what they talking about here. Daryl Ryder and them guys. Let's go ahead and lock in real quick.
We heard from Andrew Berry, from head coach Todd Monken at the Combine in Indianapolis. A lot of what, Nick, you have been hearing from folks that you saw in Indy as well. And I had just said that I kind of feel like there's a disconnect between how fans perceive Shedeur and his outlook here in 2026. And I will admit that I felt kind of the same way about like, hey, let's see what this kid is about. Let's see what he can do here in 2026. Why not take a flyer on him or give him that opportunity? And then, there's kind of part of me, it's like, well, you know what? I know Todd's coming in and he brought in his new, his own coaching staff or whatever. He's going to have a fresh set of eyes looking at the film, which I was a little surprised that he told you guys in Indy that, like, he hasn't even begun that process yet, that he's going to, like, take the next couple of days before free agency to really dive
into the tape and all that.
To the team he's going to coach this year.
Right.
Like, I was shocked by that. Again, the great thing about Todd Monken is he's very down to earth.
I mean, you're shocked about that. You know how much tape Todd Monken has watched in his career? My guy's been coaching for 30 years. He understands tape. You think it's going to take him 3 days to diagnose whether or not he can roll with Shedeur Sanders or whether or not Quinshawn Judkins is going to be a good tailback? It's not going to take that much, man. What do you mean?
He's very open and honest about what he says and I think how he says it. But I also think that can be an Achilles heel too. You reveal maybe a little too much or things that you don't want to reveal. But maybe the Browns have a pretty good read on what Shedeur Sanders is and maybe what his ceiling can be.
So, look, I'm a huge Shedeur fan. Still, even coming out of Indy, even after watching him this year.
You and Jonathan Peterlin are like the twoest big shishills at this station.
I do think that I liked some of what I saw. I liked the arm, obviously. And really, I'm sick of seeing the Browns just give up on these guys year after year, especially the guys that show you a little bit of promise.
So feel free to give up on Dylan Gabriel. I just want to put that out there.
We could put that out there. We can give up on him. That's enough. But with the Shedeur thing, what I was really hearing and sensing in Indianapolis is that the Browns are viewing this differently than where the fans are viewing this. Like, the fans continue to say, and we hear it on the phones ad nauseum every single day here on the Fan, where people will call in and say, want to see what Shedeur Sanders can do next year. The Browns aren't viewing it that way.
Man, you don't know what the Browns are viewing it as, but what you just said is for surely accurate. If you ask around, people, white people, black people, don't matter. You can hop into that discussion or that spectrum, that side of it if you want to. But fans casual fans, real fans, lifelong fans, fans that was fans before they left and then fans after they came back, that tell you, man, let's see what the young fella can do. Y'all want to do all the other messing around with the quarterbacks and bring this guy in and draft this guy. Man, we've been doing that enough. The young dude showed you a little bit of what he could do last year. It wasn't perfect, but he showed you a lot of flashes, and there were some things that's like, oh, man, okay. Now let's see what he can do. You put a line around him. You get him a Mekhi Limit, somebody like that. Why not do that?
The Browns don't think that, A, they have the luxury of sitting back to seeing what he can do next year. Because if he's good, okay, that's great, but that's a big if. There's also a world where he's not good and he's bad. And if he's...
There's also a world where Malik Willis is not good and he's bad. There's also a world where Anthony Richardson has already been not good and bad. What are we talking about? It makes no sense. The same people that you're talking about bringing in, any of the options that you have bringing in, even the quarterback that you could draft, Ty Simpson, all of them come with enormous question marks. So you already have a quarterback on roster for $1.6 million in Shedeur Sanders, rookie deal. Why break the mold and go do something else? You're trying to figure out how to reinvent the wheel when it's unnecessary. It doesn't, I can't compute why you guys are continuing to throw this out there as though this is something that should be seriously considered. It shouldn't.
Bad, and you lose a lot of games because he's taking 20-yard sacks and throwing the wildest interceptions that you've ever seen. That's when the full rebuild gets going. That's when you're talking about firing Monken,
That's not when the full rebuild gets going. Because if you roll with Shedeur into the next season, what do you have time to do? And what do you have picks and assets and the availability to be able to do? Get you linemen. Get you receivers. So now you're sitting at 6-24, right? Boom. Now you can grab yourself a left tackle if you want to. You can grab best player available, and you can still get you a left tackle with the 24th pick. And you got other picks in other rounds where you can still address receivers. You still have free agency. Like, if you go ahead and dive into one of these quarterbacks, now you're going to have to give up on some of those picks that you have this draft, because somebody's going to want a pick or two this draft for an elite player. And for one of these quarterbacks, somebody's going to want a pick. So it doesn't make sense.
Barry, potentially then trading Miles and Denzel and all of this stuff. If he plays as bad as some of that stuff that he did put on tape last year with those long sacks, with the wild interceptions. So they want to add more to the mix. Like, I believe Monken when he says that he's excited to coach Shedeur. I think that's genuine. I think that's authentic. I think Monken genuinely believes that he could continue to develop Shedeur Sanders, but I'm just telling you guys what I heard from people in the league of how Shedeur is viewed.
You know what these tight ends are...
You're worried about what you heard from people in the league. What you need to be worried about is what people in the building are saying. What his Myles Garrett said. What his Denzel Ward said. People you're just talking about trading for no reason because you haven't seen anything happen yet. Like, come on, bro. Let's be realistic. Shout out to 92.3 The Fan.
Whoa, was that, yes, I was correct. He is wildly fun, but that is probably where it caps. It caps at wildly fun.
Oh, you mean there isn't some vast conspiracy out there to just totally torpedo this kid's career?
The comp that I got there, the comp that I got, Daryl, from an actual scout in the league that did work on Shedeur last year, and he's a pro scout, so then did more work on him this year during his time with the Browns, was that he might just be a smaller Jameis. Where, like, he's going to give you those wildly fun moments with big throws down the field where you're like, holy smokes, Miles said it this year. There's not many guys in the league that can make those kind of throws. But then all of the stuff that happens between those moments, you just can't have out of a starting quarterback in this league when you're taking the long sacks, when you're throwing the bad interceptions. Those are the type of things that really hurt an offense. And I think that's why the Browns will go into this offseason. They still like Shedeur. They still...
It also hurts the offense when your left tackle is in the quarterback's lap 1.5 seconds into the play. It also hurts when your receiver, your number one wide receiver, leads the league in drops. It also hurts when your offensive line is ranked 32nd by Pro Football Focus. Those things also hurt a case, don't it?
Literally anything out of Deshaun Watson, but isn't it Andrew Berry's quote that his hope is not a strategy? They can't go into this offseason hoping that Shedeur is going to...
Aren't you going in hoping that Anthony Richardson or Malik Willis can turn the corner and be better than what they were at their previous stops?
Be something that he's not. Like the last team that did that with a 5th round pick was the Washington Commanders. They did it with Sam Howell. They said, we want to see what Sam Howell can do. He's a 5th round pick that showed a little bit of promise in his rookie season. The Commanders were so bad, they got the number 2 overall pick, and that got him Jaden Daniels. That's how bad Sam Howell was.
Wouldn't you say that worked out for him? All in all, wouldn't you say that worked out for him? They had a guy that they thought could do something. They gave him a year. It didn't work out. He obviously wasn't the guy. And we're talking about 27 is going to have these elite draft classes as far as quarterbacks. You're going to have the Arch Mannings, the Nussmeyers, all of these different guys coming back. The Chambliss, Trinidad Chambliss. You're going to have all these different guys running it back again. The guy from Oregon. So doesn't that mean it would stand the reason for me? Let me just put it to you like this. It would stand the reason for me that I would ride this out with Shedeur, take this flyer year on Shedeur, see whether or not he's the guy. And if he's not, now I'm in the running for Arch Manning. Now I'm in the running for one of these top quarterbacks. And there's going to be additional free agents this year, and there might be better free agents than Malik Willis available. Stop the cap.
And to our conversation that we're having here, Daryl, I don't think the Browns want to be that bad. I think they understand that we've got a defense that's ready to go. We've got ammunition in our chest that could help us build up this offensive line and add a receiver here. And if we could just upgrade QB, and I know that's going to irritate Browns fans everywhere because it's irritating me too, because that's what we were sold on, the Deshaun thing in the first place, that it was an upgrade from Baker. And there are a lot of people, myself included, that would say, we don't need to upgrade Baker. Baker's fine. Let's just see Baker one last time. I think they're getting ready to do that again with Shedeur. Like, they like the dude a lot. They really do. But they understand that there are pieces of his game that could prohibit him from being something serious long term. So they feel like, why not just try to add more to the mix now?
Every quarterback in the league has pieces of their game that makes them one step away from not being in the playoffs, not being in the Super Bowl, not being where you would want your franchise to be. Let's look at Josh Allen. Josh Allen is an elite talent. Size, measurables, all those different things. Elite. But when it comes down to it, ball security. Turnovers. Lamar Jackson. Elite. When it comes down to it, clutch ability. Turnovers. Same thing with Pat Mahomes. You can love Pat Mahomes, and he's great. He is. But if Pat Mahomes turn the ball over, Pat Mahomes is going to lose the game. So all of these quarterbacks are one step away from being or having these ailments as far as the turnover-worthy plays or taking big sacks. It all depends on what's going on as far as offensive line, their level of acumen when reading, the protection. Should I slide left? Should I slide right? Do I need to get the ball out quick? Can I look back shoulder? Can I do these different things? But that comes with time. You're ready to just throw a guy away after 7 games. Like, oh, you've seen enough and you know what his cap can be. How can you say you know what his ceiling is be? His ceiling can be, excuse me. So you're telling me you know Shedeur's ceiling after 7 games, but you don't know Malik Willis' ceiling? We haven't seen Malik Willis' ceiling with that same statement then? With that same exact statement, that same line of thinking, then we know Malik Willis' ceiling. Why are we trying to give him $30+ million a year?
Jameis, you bring up the Jameis comparison. I have heard that too.
And it makes sense, though, that Monken gets brought in. He was Jameis's OC in Tampa when he threw all those touchdowns and all those interceptions. So they like Shedeur enough that they want somebody that is going to be responsible with him and want to continue developing him, but I just don't think they feel comfortable in their own positions, as they shouldn't. This is the National Football League. This is a results-oriented business where if this thing goes off the tracks, and again, I'm a huge Shedeur guy. I want to see Shedeur go well. I'm telling you how the Browns are thinking about this. If it goes all the way south, it'd be like, okay, we had fun with a couple rap videos and Instagram posts, and he threw a couple crazy touchdowns, but now we all lost our jobs because we only won 4 games and he got sacked 50 times.
And this is why I'm leaning toward the Kyler Murray thing, because I think Kyler Murray can come in here and help them win now. Okay,
bro, get out my face, bro. You're just saying anything now, bro. Kyler Murray's gonna give you. Are you serious, bro? You're going to have to pay Kyler Murray. You're paying Deshaun Watson right now. And when Kyler Murray doesn't do good or Kyler Murray folds, now you're out of position for another draft of a quarterback where you're going to be picking at 13. Now you're going to have to give up the house to try and move up. What are you talking about, bro?
Okay, and I'm telling you.
Kyler Murray can't even stay healthy.
And again, this is coming from somebody who has nonstop material when it comes to dunking on the Browns and making fun of them and the product that they put on the field year in and year out, which is a lot of times
So why do you represent the Browns? Why are you part of 92.3 The Fan, a Cleveland ran fan? You hear that? 92.3 The Fan. It's supposed to be for the fan. You're supposed to be fans of the team. So you routinely crap on the Browns and you think it's funny and you get away with it because they've been bad. But this is your level of coverage. This is the Cleveland media. This is what they want. This is how they go about their daily lives of reporting and covering the teams. It's all, everything is bad. It's bad. Crap on them bad. That's what you get paid to do, and you fell in love with that line of work. You don't want to talk about a winner. You don't want to build a winning team. You don't want to have a buzz, an energy around the city. You don't care about that. You just care about negativity and being I don't know. I'm not going to go there. Go ahead, Daryl.
The equivalent of horse manure, okay? It's not good. It's like watching another sport when I'm turning on the national TV games, whether it's Sunday Night Football, the prime window at 4:25, or Monday Night Football. There are times that Thursday Night Football looks better than the Cleveland Browns look, okay?
For sure.
So I don't feel like there's this appetite to just bottom out so that they can have the number 1 pick in 2027.
Agreed.
To draft Arch Manning. And I realize that there's this vast conspiracy theory out there that's like the grand plan of Jimmy Haslam and the ownership group is that we're gonna just go ahead and wait for Arch Manning and draft him, and that's what it's gonna be. I don't get that sense. Okay? I don't think that they brought Todd Monken in just to lose a bunch of games. Now, do I think that Todd Monken is going to be here for 3-4 years? No, I do not. I don't believe that. I do believe he's a good man. Like, that's nothing personal. I think he's a good man. I do think he's a good offensive coordinator. He's got a great offensive mind. I don't know that he's the long-term head coach of this football team.
But there's no meat behind that statement. So you say you don't think he's going to be here for 3-4 years, but then you don't give any context as to why. You don't say he's not going to be here because of his level of decision making when it comes to X, Y, or Z. No, you just say, I think he's a good man. He's a great offensive mind, but I don't think he's going to be here. Why, though? You're not explaining why. You're just saying, I don't think he's going to be here. That's because you don't want him to be here. He's not your guy. You were thinking Udinski. You were thinking Shieldhouse. The same way you're thinking Kyler Murray, Anthony Richardson, Malik Willis. In the same way they curveballed you with those guys as far as the coaches, Udinski, Shieldhouse, all of those guys that were in the running. The same way they curveballed you with them, they about to curveball you with this quarterback position when Shedeur runs out week 1 as your starter.
Had to make a change.
Make
You know
these
what these
guys
tight
make
ends are
sense,
so relaxed
man.
about?
It's ridiculous. anybody but Shedeur. It's every day. Every day somebody has something new to say about who they should bring in. I mean, we were stuck on Malik Willis. Then they went to Anthony Richardson. No traction there. Kyler Murray, let's run him back again.
Okay? Fact of the matter is, they should have won more than 5 games last season, despite how terrible the offense was. This is an offense that finished in the bottom quarter of the league in every meaningful metric.
Over the last 2 seasons with an offensive-minded head coach.
Right. Over the last 2 seasons, they could barely score 17 points. I would joke every game when the Browns would get to 17 points, usually by the second quarter, like, well, they're done for the day. They scored their allotment, and most of the time, while it was a joke by me, I was right.
When they would eclipse 20, it would almost felt like they've exceeded their quota of how much they're allowed to score.
Oh, look, the Browns scored 20. Be still my heart. I never thought I'd see the day.
And that was a problem with Watson.
They scored 30 points this past season. Can't even believe that.
In a loss?
You hear that? You hear the tone? Man, just listen to him, man. You hear the tone? Does that sound like you want a winner? Does that sound like you're a winner? Doesn't sound like you're even a winner. Sound like you're used to losing. Sound like you used to being ass. That's what it sounds like. Just to put it point blank to you. But you need to go ahead and turn your mental around, which I don't know if it can be turned around at this point. I mean, this is sickening to hear this. This is supposed to be, once again, you can see it all in the background. 92-3 the fan. Shout out them guys. But if we're fans of the team, man, let's promote something here. Let's get a change in culture. Golly, Negative Nelly over here is like smoking the vibe, ain't he?
Us. And they made us against the Tennessee Titans. And that was a game that, obviously is going to come up with Shedeur because he put up video game numbers. Go look up how Shedeur's numbers look.
And the defense let Cam Ward put up numbers that he didn't do to anybody the whole season. So when you run the numbers, run Shedeur's turnovers, because you want to hang on that, but hang on how the defense let them boys run for a party on them. Explain how the defense let Cam Ward cook. Do you not remember Cam Ward stiff-arming Grant Delpit, holding him down, face mask to the turf, get up off me, and still get the ball away? Supposed to have been a sack. You don't remember these things? But no, we'll hang on to what Shedeur was doing. Which he still put up, 390 something? 3 passing tubs, 1 on the ground. In the 390, I think it was like 360 something passing. And then he had another 50 on the ground. Man, he went crazy, bro. And he was the leading passer and leading rusher on the offense? Man, stop the cap.
Against the Tennessee Titans, but then you remember he threw that wild interception to the other side of the field across his body, and he put the team on his back and kind of led a little bit of a comeback there. But that's what makes the Jameis comp kind of make sense, is like the good is awesome, the good is phenomenally fun, but that's the cap on it, is that it's really fun, but that might be the ceiling, is fun. And unfortunately, fun doesn't always win you a Super. Like, Sam Darnold isn't really a fun quarterback. Sam Darnold's as boring, plain as it gets.
You know what the Browns have in their head right now?
Now you want to see
the vision of Shedeur standing up there saying, "Please, Lord, deliver me from pick sixes," a la Jameis Winston. Because those words came out of Jameis Winston's mouth as a Browns quarterback.
As long as the horse is prepared for battle.
I like it. I like it. See, I like it. You got on board. You blew the beating the dead horse. You blew the horse manure, but then you finally came around to.
You see him just yucking it up, man. Just yep. We're losers. We want to lose. We get paid for losing. We want to talk about losing. Man, that's the Cleveland media, man. It's whack. New Cleveland, man, we turning it around. It's a lot of fans, man. A lot of people got their voices out as far as we know what's going on. We know what Shedeur is. We know what Shedeur ain't. And one thing that I do know is if you give the dude some talent and you give him some development, somebody like a Monken that can actually work with him and build some things around him, you get some pieces in the draft as far as receivers, free agents. You go ahead and line up some at least 3 good free agent linemen. You know what I mean? 2 solid starters and 1 that can possibly get in the rotation. You know what I mean? Do that. Run you up some receivers, man. Get a quality offense going. You got Judkins coming back. Hell, add another tailback. I don't got a problem with adding another tailback. Shoot, get Love. I'll take that too. Get that boy Love. You know what I mean? But let's start moving different with the narrative, bro. It's sickening how we do this every time. Y'all are just so used to losing, bro. Get over it. You know what I mean? It's a new day. Y'all let me know in the comments what you think. Can Shedeur be the guy? Or should we go get Malik Willis or one of these other guys? Ty Simpson, Anthony Richardson, Kyler Murray, perhaps? Y'all let me know down below the difference.